Welcome to the Love Important Nonsense Podcast. It's your boy Matt Spellen. Let's begin. Hey guys, it's been actually a little bit a time since I've been on this podcast. If you've noticed something, I don't have my glasses, so that means I can see you guys barely. So whatever is said today is going to be coming off the cuff because I can't imagine how your faces look at this moment because I can't see. You know. So guys, I hope you guys had a great. What was it? 3 weeks? 3 weeks? I think it was almost a month that we almost took off, but 3 weeks. And I felt like today I had to come in because I was like, it's one of those situations. If you don't get started, you're not gonna get started. You know what I'm saying? If you don't continuously do the same, and make great habits for yourself, you're not gonna do it. And that goes to say, like, consistency is always gonna be doing the things that you don't want to do on the days you have to do it, which is usually the days you don't want to do it. You know, that's discipline, that's consistency. So we gotta practice what we preach around here. And I thought that was definitely coming to my head a lot for the last 3 weeks lately. I think I've been going down reminiscing road and thinking about the times of old, the good days, the bad days, and what made me into the person that I am today, and and how painful it was to become that person, but how ecstatic I am for going through the pain and getting through it on the other side. Because I remember, being young and thinking how life is supposed to be so. When I get to a certain age, life is just going to be so amazing and perfect, and I'm gonna get everything I want because I am who I am, and that's just it. And one day you wake up and realize the only way you could get a perfect life if you go through pains and tribulations that life wants to teach you. So so I've been thinking a lot lately about how my life has turned out and the person I am from it, and I'm actually really kind of grateful for a lot of it. Not kind of. I am grateful for a lot of it because it did create the character that I am today. It did create the person that I sit here to be, and I'm actually pretty happy to be the person and the man that I am today with the determination and mindset that I have, because I remember the days when I didn't know any of the things that I know, any of the just answers to the questions that I try to figure out constantly. And if you're one of those people like me who brain likes to completely spiral out of control, then you know what I mean when you are in a state of like impostering, or a state of not having direction, or understanding of who you are as a person, especially if you're a young man growing up and your whole identity was one thing, and then you are no longer involved in that, and now you have to kind of relearn how to be important again in your own eyes and not just to the world. It's been real eye opening thinking about these things and playing with these. Now you guys know I do like a lot of mental gymnastics, and I like to go and take a thought of mine and break it down to like the simplest thing to understand why I think that way. And the reason why I do that is because uh, I don't I don't like to I don't like to come and I don't like I like to think of myself as, and this is gonna sound like I'm not bashing myself when I say this. I understand that I do love myself, but when I like to think of I think of myself as not as intelligent, you know, and I like to take the and because of that, it helps. I have to take conversations and things that I tell myself, and I have to break it down to a simpler form so I can know what it means from the root, and I don't take things a certain way or wrong. Because even the way you say things to yourself, sometimes you could take it wrong. You know, like you might tell yourself that, oh yeah, I'm silly, and then you might take that wrong. You're not really silly. You're bored. You know, you're not. You're just anxious, or why are you anxious, and the reason why behind that, and how far down that rabbit hole can you get with yourself till you get to an understanding, and that will pull you out, so you can fix and correct the things that you find um, self-destructive at the time. You know. So I like to do like a lot of mental gymnastics like that. So I realized that a lot of my life has been had my best life lessons has been came from pain. Now sometimes you heard a few old school podcasts where I would talk about the pains of things, and you know I might say it in a comical way, but pain is just is like the huge teacher in life. You know, we won't understand what comfort is and love and all these other things if we never went through the pain and struggles of it all. We like to say, "Oh, I get how it feels when someone's heartbroken," until you are actually really heartbroken, and you could break down different levels of being heartbroken, because sometimes you're heartbroken because of an opportunity didn't happen to you that you worked really hard at, or you're heartbroken because your child disappointed you, or you lost a loved one, or there's so many different layers of heartbroken, and that's another reason why I never try to tell people that I understand what they're going through. I always say like, hey, I know as much as I can know without being in your shoes. You know, I don't, because sometimes it is really annoying for someone to be like, yo, I understand what you're going through. You don't understand nothing. You understand me? You don't understand nothing. Maybe I hit my big toe right before the freaking refrigerator collapsed, and now it's a lot of, you know what I mean? I don't know, man. I'm just making something up. But how you understand? You did the same thing in exact motion, and you had the same mindset I had 5 minutes before it happened, and shut up. You don't know what's going on. And did you know my doggy died? You know, no, none of that. Not my real dog. Come on, please. Don't let that happen, bro. My doggy passed away on me, yo. I think I'll lose my shit. I'm gonna need a few days, a few weeks, a month and a half. I don't never want to see another dog again. That's direct. I digress, bro. Like, I never. That's how emotionally attached I am to my dog right now. You know, that's my little baby. That's my little nugget. You know, her big ass. But yeah, something happened to her. So yeah, I've been talking about that for too long. Nothing gonna happen to her. Anyway, but yeah, so I was thinking about how life really how life taught me, and the lessons that it taught me. I remember I remember speaking of the bank robbery thing. I remember being homeless and not knowing when I was gonna eat, pretending I ate. And that's real. I remember pretending that I ate just so I could try to ignore my stomach. You know, I remember the emptiness of it all, the feeling, the self doubt, the wanting to jump off the bridge, the to the suicidal thoughts, to I remember all of it. I remember what made it go. I remember what triggered it. I remember what forced my hand, and I remember being a person I wasn't prepared to be at that time, and I'm grateful for all the lessons that it did happen, because it taught me how to understand people, because I was going through life in a way where I wasn't really emotionally understanding. So I had to go through certain emotional moments to get my understanding of what certain people or certain things, how to feel about certain things the correct way. And I know that sounds kind of psychopathic, but like it's like certain things, you like sometimes you grow up a certain way, you don't feel it when something happens because you personally can't emotionally connect to the situation, and then something happens to you, and now you can emotionally connect to a situation that someone else is going through. Yeah, I remember I remember being sleeping on benches, Totowa, Patterson, Clifton, um, Ramsey. Shit, if the cops didn't get your ass, friends' houses, couches, back to mom's. I remember having to put my tail between my legs and call my mother. It was like one of the darkest days ever. Having to make that phone call to my mom saying like, "Yo, I need to come back." Well, we could talk about that. That's like a black people thing. We don't really go home. You know, that was tough. And yeah, man. But it all taught me how to come. It taught me how to treat people. It taught me how to look for what to look for in relationships, good and bad. It taught me um, lessons about finances, and it taught me lessons about um, how to handle problems without being so aggressive about it. And it taught me how to hold my tongue, and taught me how to let go of that tongue. Taught me when and where to shoot. You know, taught It taught me how to manage my bills and how to properly love someone, and how not to. What's the difference between forcing an issue and what's not forcing an issue? When to know someone is uncomfortable and when someone is too comfortable. You know, all came from like painful situations. You know, painful situations. You know, maybe fought someone tried to set me up, gave me lessons. And then sometimes, what I finally figured out is that lessons come from, you can't teach anyone anything. Especially, I think most teachers, the best teachers are the ones that actually been through a lot. They have the most to say, they have the most ideas, they have the most, they have, they know how to get in and out of a situation. You know, it's like trying to drive a car and no one ever taught you how to drive a car. You just get behind the wheel and you just start driving. Why would you do that? You know, just let someone show you how to drive the goddamn car so you can know how to drive. Don't try to recreate the wheel. That's what they say. Don't try to recreate the wheel. Yeah, painful. We like to make it seem like because pain is always like uncomfortable, so we don't want to go through it, and that's just human nature. You don't want to go through anything that's uncomfortable for you. But shit, you can't even get muscles without being in pain. It's always the progress. It's always the progress after the pain. You know, like we were saying, muscles. You gotta tear down each fiber piece by piece, and then what happens? You wake up one day and you took the right vitamins and you drunk enough water and you had the right amount of sleep, and the recovery from all that pain is now a result that physically shows for everyone to see. You know, everyone gets to see be, your progress through pain. Fitness is always dope. I always go back to fitness. Of course, I'm a trainer, but I always go back to fitness because I always tell people fitness is like watching an evolution happen in real time. Watching someone evolve and like we think evolution is supposed to be like Pokemon, where we hear like do 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 do, and they just hit the square button a few times. They might stop it, but and that's not how human evolution works. Human evolution is a long process. Takes some time. Takes a lot of drilling. Your body has to, your mind has to change, and then from your mind changes, your body adapts to the change, and then you start moving and talking and grooving differently, and then you become a whole different person. But it takes time. Watching evolution in real time. That's why one of the best. That's why I always like seeing a client have like their results after we did a 3-month stint, and they're like, "Yo, Matt, I put on X amount of pound of muscle, and I lost X amount of weight," and I'm excited with them because it's like, yo, I seen the process, bro. It was crazy, I'm happy. I'm proud of you, bro. You're like, I see the process. It's dope. Like, you evolve it, you know. Nobody wants Squirtle to stay Squirtle. We want Blastoise, You know what I mean? My Pokemon people know that. Nobody wants Squirtle to stay Squirtle, man. We want to skip Wartortle, to be honest with you, but that's besides the point, But yeah, man. Anything that comes to you, and that's gonna be amazing for your life, or it's gonna make a big impact in your life, you have to understand that there is going to be a moment of pain. Any business owner tell you, any fitness person tell you, anybody that's good at anything will let you know there's a moment where they are not liking it. You're not. Sometimes they're in that moment right there. I mean, many times, if you're a musician, and first time you pick up a guitar, you ain't got the calluses for this goddamn strings yet. You ain't got those calluses yet. You didn't strung these strings enough thousands of times to know the sound of each chord. You haven't been able to move your hand up and down the scale yet to know exactly how to play fucking Metallica. This, to play Enter the Sandman. You know what I mean? You didn't do that enough times. It took a lot. Took a long time. Took hours. Took days where you were sad. It took days that you was happy. It took days of, in moments of when you probably didn't want to, just picked it up just to start playing with the doop, 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 It takes a long time. It takes a while. And then one day you freaking on your moment comes. Because I do feel like God does repay you for, he repays you for your hard work. Like, oh, all right, I see you, Bubba. I'm going to put you on this stage. Matter of fact, I got some family members that want to see that. We want to see you strung them strings now. I'll put you, you're one day it happen. You'll wake up, you be like, man, all that work for this one little moment, you be going crazy. You can go get shine out. It's like a fighter, you know what I'm saying? You train for so long, you train, your body changing, you're stronger, you're faster, you're moving differently, your grips are changing, and all of a sudden they put you in that cage or they put you in that ring, and you're like, all right, this is the moment, baby. You got to show us what you did for this whole time, and you get to show out. You get to show them that you evolved from that painful situations that you've been through. I love it, man. I love it. I hate pain though. I ain't gonna hold you. Ain't nobody trying to go through some shit, But I think when you go through it, you just, except for praying to get out of it, pray that you have the strength to finish it. Pray that you become a different person. Pray that you get an understanding from what you've been through and what you have accomplished. Know where it came from. Try to harness that feeling. Just do that, bro. How long we in so I don't go over? 20 minutes? Okay, I just didn't want to go over. We're fine. We can keep going. So I just want to make sure that I had everything. All right. We'll just talk about some random stuff right now. So apparently we might be going into war. This is a very interesting situation. I ain't gonna speak too much about it because it's everybody. Everybody's wrong. Everybody's wrong. How about that? How about that? Everybody's wrong. So I think war sucks. I don't care what the reason is. It just sucks. You know. They said we flew a stealth bomber. I was listening to this, and we flew a stealth bomber through the world to the other side of the world in a few hours. Like not even like a day or half a day, just a few hours. The technology that we got military wise is not to be fucking with, bro. It's not a game, bro. It's not a game. They said we flew a stealth bomb over there to stop the missiles. Look, I don't want war. I want everyone to be okay. I think everyone should argue. I think everyone should fight, but we should wait till the Olympics. We should have like a yearly get down. Like the Peruvians, where they have that 1 year where they beat each other up. What's that called? It's not Boxing Day or whatever. They got that one. I think I talked about this before, but they got that 1 year where they got one hand wrapped up. You got somebody, abuela, come out there with the fucking wrapped up hand, and she start punching each other. And it's supposed to be after they finish that moment. After they finish that, it's supposed to be done. They're supposed to be like, all right, that's it. All right, no more beef. And then you're supposed to have no more beef after that. Like, who doesn't matter who went. And I feel like maybe we should get that. We get a representative from each country. You know what I'm saying? And we get busy. You know what I'm saying? Like we just scrap. Like we call like America called Ball Log over or Balrog from Street Fighter. You know what I'm saying? They got Zangief come over. We just get busy in the middle of a coliseum somewhere, and then we'll be like, all right, you won. All right, Russia got a month of talking shit. You know what I'm saying? Or some shit like that. I'm over here solving world peace with violence, dog. If you really want to do it, let's get the coliseums back in here. You know what I mean? I'm not saying we should kill anybody. I guess people know what they sign up for when they get into the coliseum, but like China come out with with that dude from Kickboxer. It was like is that from the John Claude Van Damme movie? Remember that Bloodsport? Remember that the Chinese guy from Bloodsport? China come out with him, and India have like Dazzlim show up somewhere from some monastery somewhere and blowing fire out and shit. You ever seen those Indian people when they what's that slap Joan? They be slapping each other in the chest. Yeah, we had one of them champions come through. What? Fight our MMA guys. You know what I'm saying? We see what happens. See who wins. And then maybe India get a good one in, and they get to talk shit for about 2 months. Like, all right, you got it. But missiles, we gotta make Gundams or something. We gotta make Gundams and have them like fight in the middle of the ocean or something like that. Something. It has to be something else. It gotta be somewhere away from us. Remember where I don't know if you guys ever remember what was it, Shining Gundam? Yeah, remember that? I do. That boy was inside doing karate kicks inside of a Gundam. I said, this is the best for show I've ever seen in my life. Big ass robot doing martial arts. That's what anything. So that's scary though. I'm always nervous about what war would turn me into. I think war would turn me into. I know I'm going patriotic. I'll be straight up with y'all. I'm going straight. I'm going full on. I ain't got no other house. I ain't got no other home. This is where I'm from. Yeah, sometimes they be talking shit and they be doing shitty things, but hey. That's where I'm from. What I'm gonna do? You know what I'm saying? What you want me to do? Not be from here? What you want me to change my lineage? Go back about 800 years or something like that. Some weird things where they ain't come grab people off the boats. After that, this is where I'm at. You know, so I'm going full patriotic on y'all. Just ain't. I'm just not gonna lie to you. Not gonna lie to you. Oh, Matt, you. And it's so. I'm not even. Let me not. Let me not. Let me not. Let me not. It's not that type of show. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. I've been having political arguments lately, and I be trying to stay so far away from political arguments because I know how opinionated I really am in real life. So I'll be trying to stay far away from political arguments, but for the last 2 weeks, that I've been getting drawn in. I've been getting drawn in, and but I refuse to do it here. I don't care what y'all say. Um, what else is happening? What else is happening? Diddy got too much baby oil, of course. Um, they dropping all his charges so they could focus on the sex trafficking charge. And then sex trafficking charge is a little dicey. You know why? I'm not saying that. I'm not saying he didn't do it. I'm not saying that at all. They've been saying Diddy's a bad person in New York since I was a kid. Since I was a kid. All right? You know what I'm saying? So, but like, if you get a shorty on a plane, right? Say if you pay for a plane ride for a girl and she gets on a plane, or you pay for a guy to get on a plane for the initial reason for her to come by all the way over here, so you guys to have some type of sexual activities, that's sex trafficking. Even if she knows about it, that's technically sex trafficking. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's if this goes through, it's up for a lot of these rappers. All that you realize a lot of girls are getting flied out right now. They're not getting flown out. So, a lot of women ain't getting flown out. You better meet me, or I'll come to your town, or some shit like that. That's because you get a Diddy charge right now playing these games if you want to. And I always say it. Why is always the case? Why is everybody always fucking each other, bro? Like, we can't just make music, bro? Why is everyone diddling everybody, bro? That's just insane. Should be no, like, it should never be that deep that you gotta like. Look, Ray J came out and said Suge Knight put handlebars on somebody's face. Handlebars on a man's face is it? Yeah, you can kill me after that. I'm telling you right now. You go ahead and take this lifeless body because I already killed myself in the middle of handlebars. Are you crazy? Why is these big black men always doing some craziness? And I get to say that because I'm a big black guy, and I don't know why is the why I didn't know. I've never heard like any country music star or something like that come out and be like, "Oh yeah, we out here want to smash other country music men," and they got Brokeback Mountain as a movie. What is happening, bro? Why is that a thing? That's so crazy. That's so crazy, man. Like that's one of the one things I'm so ashamed about. I'm not saying all man because I know a lot of good brothers, but that's like you can't even go. You can't. You can't even go and make music like your talent unless somebody wanted like fuck you as a guy, like have sex with you as a guy. Like even a woman, like first off, being a woman, that's gross. Like you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't if she's there for something for another reason, you shouldn't take advantage of anybody. All right, that's like the what was it? What's that man name? The Weinstein and Scarlett Johansson type situations are going on or whatever, right? You're not supposed to be doing that just for a movie role. You know what I mean? Whatever. But at the same time, she's fucking fire. You know? Yeah, she's fucking fire. But that's insane. The gay stuff in music is insane. It's insane. Like if they into that, that's fine. You know what I thought originally, these parties, I thought everybody was down for the get down. So I was like, oh, to get everybody if that's the problem. If that's the situation, get everybody. Now they say certain people can't even they can't bring up their name in court. Like we can't tell the people and like we're all dumb and we can't tell who names can't come, who can't show up in court and stuff like that. That's so crazy. All this at the same time, and just to make sure you guys didn't realize that they didn't drop the Epstein files yet. After all these years, and they said they was gonna drop them, and all of a sudden they got canceled, and they didn't drop them Epstein files, where they had them little kids on the island. You remember that? You want to talk about baby oil, though? You know, it's where you put your attention, people. It's where you put your attention. What else is going on? What else is happening? I do feel like as a millennial going through all the craziness of the world, we went through the towers getting, terrorists attacked by the towers, or went through a recession, or went through a war that we went through what was it? COVID, which is a pandemic. We went through a pandemic. We went through so many different things in our short amount of time being here. I wouldn't be surprised that the bell sounded before I died. I wouldn't be surprised that the rapture showed up during my lifetime, because this is how much stuff is happening at one time. Whenever in history has all this crap happen, we're about to go into a whole nother thing. We got the war online. We got the war on, and with these two countries, and we're in everything, son. I honestly I don't want to sound like the scary guy, but I honestly feel like we are in those last days. We are in those last days. And if you are going to make something of yourself, if you're going to be undeniable, if you want to be someone, you want to leave a legacy on this planet, you want to leave your future grandchildren and children and everybody in a better place, you need to get to work. You need to get to work right now, because you're gonna wake up and this is it. That's it. Might wake up one day and this is it. That's the scariest shit in the world, yo. I was looking at that video and they were dropping missiles from the sky. It looked like fireworks falling from the heavens, yo. Bro, if I see that, I'm gonna cue my lo-fi music. And you know what? Last day, if they were shooting missiles in the air, I don't know what you would do. On my last day, I'm gonna pull my Bible out and put my Bible on the ground. I'm gonna hold my kids. I'm gonna roll something up that's so crazy. It's gonna look like my fucking finger. Okay? It's gonna like two of them together. All right? And I don't even be getting down like that no more. It's gonna look like two. Huh? I am, but y'all gonna have to understand, that gotta be the scariest thing in the world. The sky falling, missiles dropping, I'm rolling something that looks like two fingers. I'm gonna puff it, I'm gonna look up to the sky, and I'm like, all right, man. Yep. That's how we go, playing music on our way out. Frank Sinatra up in this bitch.
All right, good question for you, right?
What's up?
That son, how old is your son now?
Which one? Which son?
Yeah,
7 and 6. No, sorry. 8 and 6. One's about to turn 7.
What age would they have to be for you to be like, we're going down? They want with
18. If we were going down, 18. 18.
younger, so younger than that.
Nah, dogs, you gotta deal with this situation. I've been here. I've been here longer. That'd be so crazy. My 16-year-old be like, Dad, come on, son. I ain't gonna hold you. Maybe. Like, if the sky is falling and I know for sure we're not making it out of here, and my son is 16 reaching for the blunt,
You would do when he was like 12.
I'd be like, nah, hell no, not no 12. Are you crazy? Here you go, son. Go ahead and hit that for the one time, because you ain't never gonna get another time. All right, man. That's Well, I pray for everyone who is out there, and I heard they giving out steak and lobster at the chow house in the military barracks. So you already know what that means. Steak and lobster for dinner. You already know what that means. We going to war. So, guys, please love and hug the people that you want. that needs a loving and hug from you, just know tomorrow is never promised. And the moral of the story of this whole podcast is that understand that pain creates the mentality to be better. It's an opportunity to to leave a legacy. This is a Lovely Important Nonsense podcast. It's your boy Matt Spellen, and I'm out of here, man.